Testing. 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 All right. We're live. Welcome everyone to another Hupo stream. Today we're going to be looking at Auto-GPT. So Auto-GPT is a GitHub repo that has been hanging out at the top of the trending page. So if you guys don't know what this says, you can go into GitHub, and then if you click this Explore tab, there's a trending area, right? And these show you the repos that have kind of the most activity. I don't know if it's some combination of stars and probably issues or something like that, but you can go and look into the week. And right at the top here, we got Auto-GPT, and of course Segment Anything. So we had some streams on Segment Anything, and now let's do some streams on Auto-GPT. So 44,000 stars, 91 contributors, lots of activity here. Discord with over 8,000 members. Basically, it seems like it's just GPT-4, and it's just they kind of wrapped it in some Python. But yeah, we're gonna get started, and we're gonna do this all from scratch, of course. So let's go ahead and conda create env. Forget what the name, how to do this here. Let's do history. So we're gonna create a conda environment specifically for this so that we can isolate the dependencies. So let's conda create. We'll call it Auto-GPT. And yeah, let's do that. Yes. Clear, conda activate Auto-GPT. Now we're in the Python environment specifically for this, which means we can start pip installing stuff and we don't have to worry about overwriting any of our existing Python environments. So let's go into our dev folder. Let's go ahead and copy this. That'll clone it into a folder called Auto-GPT. Now let's go ahead and enter that. Okay, git pull. Navigate into your project directory. Install the required dependencies. So pip install -r requirement.txt. Generally, you kind of maybe want to look at it. You don't just want to pip install requirements.txt just randomly like that. So let's take a quick look and see what they have in here. So they have Beautiful Soup, which is kind of a web scraping framework. They have, of course, OpenAI for the actual GPT API. They have PyYAML for YAML configs, requests that allows you to send information back and forth to services. DuckDuckGo search, okay, it's a little weird. Google API Python client, I suppose that's for Google searches, but you need a Google key for this, so that might be annoying. Pillow Python image library, Redis. Okay, there's nothing like explicitly malicious in this list, so let's go ahead and install it. So let's go down, we'll copy this, put it in there. All right, it's installing some stuff. Make it a little smaller when it installs. Okay. What's up, Seif Jackson? How's it going? Rename .env template to fill .env and fill your OpenAI key. If you plan to use speech mode, fill your 11 Labs API key. So OpenAI key and 11 Labs API key. So we do have both of those. It's vim.env.template. Voice ID 1. I actually have my own voice on 11 Labs. Let's make sure So 11 Labs is a tool that allows you to do text to speech with a variety of voices. And this is actually the tool that I used for my speech-to-speech project. And it's become quite popular and a lot of people use it. So I actually have my own voice in here cloned, but I also have some famous people such as Elon, Donald, Joe, so on. So why don't we actually, the voice ID for 11 Labs Voice 1, let's do myself, let's do Hugo, and then 11 Labs Voice 2, let's do good old Joe Biden. I feel like his voice is actually quite good. The auto AI focus is hilarious. Yeah. I feel like it adds like a little element of mystique. Speech to speech is how I found your channel. I'm glad you like the speech to speech, man. It's a little sketchy because technically that's illegal. So like the terms of service for this 11 Labs, they state very clearly that you're not allowed to use someone's voice without their permission, but everybody's using it to get all these famous people's voices, but I'm pretty sure nobody's asking Joe Biden for his permission to use his voice. So it's kind of like a legal gray area right now, but yeah. All right, let's go back to here. I might have to do this on the side. Let me quickly move this over to my other monitor so I can copy paste my OpenAI API key without one of you guys just stealing it. So 1 second. Vim-bash-rc. I think it's in my bash. Pretty sure. Yup. Let me put this in here. I've become a little bit more careful about not just having my keys in any frame of my video, you know, because even if I just flash it momentarily, someone can pause the video and then copy the key. And next thing I know, I wake up and I have like $1 million on my OpenAI subscription. Okay, so I copied the OpenAI key, I copied the 11 Labs key. Let me right quit that and let me bring this back over here. Okay, so we've put in our keys. Now what? Now we put in our 2 keys. Obtain your OpenAI key, obtain your 11 Labs key. Okay, I already did that. Use Azure instance. I don't want to use Azure. Azure is Microsoft's cloud platform. I suppose you can run it. I don't know why you would want to run it in the cloud. Maybe, right? Because these are all APIs, right? GPT API and 11 Labs API. So like you don't need to do any compute locally. It's doing it all on the cloud already. So I don't exactly know what you would be running on the cloud. Run the Python main script. Type this into your command. Again, so if someone's telling you to run a Python script, you should probably go check it out. So let's go check out what this script is, main.py. Make sure it doesn't install malware here. So from scripts main. Okay, so scripts. Wow, this is a lot of scripts here. A lot of activity too. 5 hours ago, 6 hours ago. These guys are pushing code every hour. So they're moving quickly. Okay, check OpenAI key. Attempt to fix JSON. Okay, so a little bit of JSON magic here. Print assisted thoughts. Prints the assistant thoughts. Load variables. Try, except. This is kind of scrubby here. They're putting all their functions. They have everything in these kind of try except loops. That's generally not good practice to just wrap your entire code base into try except like that, but okay, this is what's actually probably going to ChatGPT. You got some arguments here. Continuous, speak, debug, GPT-3 only, GPT-4 only. Okay. Fill LLM. This is the main interaction loop. While true, look at that. They don't even have a timeout. Like, what? Okay, tries, accepts, continuous mode. Continuous mode is kind of what this is most famous for, which is where you kind of let the GPT run by itself, and we're going to try to set that up. But, okay, let's just try to get the basic thing here working. So, Python scripts main.py. There's no Python. I think it's because it's Python 3. Okay, enter the name of your AI and its role below. Entering nothing will load defaults. Name your AI. Livestream GPT. Let's make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see. I'm here at your service. For example, an AI designed to autonomously develop. Okay. Livestream GPT is an AI designed to showcase the abilities of LLMs on a live coding stream. Enter up to 5 goals. Increase net worth, grow Twitter account, provide entertainment, demonstrate intelligence. Think about that. Local memory would not open a file. Auto-GPT.json. Where is that getting used? Okay, so this is kind of the meat of this entire repo, is basically it has this kind of like cognitive loop, right? Cognitive architecture is super hot right now, but it's kind of this idea of like, rather than GPT just basically saying user prompts, GPT answers, user prompts, GPT answers, you can have more complicated loops where basically user prompts, GPT thinks about it, GPT looks into its memory, GPT thinks about it again, and then GPT answers, right? So you have multiple kind of thinking steps with potentially referencing some external memory, right? Or looking up something on Google or something like that, using a tool, right? In this kind of tool former paradigm, and then responding to the user. Let's demonstrate the power of Google search. What would you like me to search for? Google search is a fast and easy, so here's like its own internal little thoughts. Plan, use Google search, resulting information to take further action. Criticism, no criticism at this time. JSON was fixed. Command arguments. Enter Y. To run continuous commands. Okay, so the next action is to search Google with empty text. Sure. Error. Okay. That was kind of lame. Let's open up a VS Code terminal here. Or IDE, sorry. And let's actually search for these things here. Let's see exactly how this is actually going through here. Copy. We're going to search for livestream GPT thoughts. Thoughts. JSON parser. JSON schema. Yeah, so I mean, a lot of these GPT based systems are actually way more simple than people think they are. Like at the end of the day, you're just basically making these custom prompts that have specific instructions to basically impersonate a particular type of persona. All AI function. So like a short bulleted list that conveys, like you can completely just hack this. Like here, right here, where it says plan, we can change this to a poem that describes the plan. And if you save that, and I'm pretty sure if you Control-C and run it here, it'll change what it's doing now. Oh. Okay, so it loaded a... It still had all the information that we gave him at the last one, which means that at somewhere in this repo, it's actually saving our interactions. Where is it? Here it is. JSON parser right here. Where is it saving this? Auto-GPT.json. Env template, scripts, outputs, post one output, maximizing savings, how to save on energy bills. Where is it saving this information? Let's open up the scripts main .py. Use regex search. It's gonna be a file, right? So like we can search for file. Here we go. Config.yaml. Okay. So let's search for that config.yaml. Data, memory, here we go. Memory, no, that's not what we want. Data, prompt.txt. Yeah, don't stare too much into the eye filter. It you'll end up summoning demons. Logs. Where is it putting this crap? Live stream. Jesus. All right, let's go on the GitHub repo, see if we can find out where it's actually putting this crap. Install, we did that. Installation, blah, blah, blah. Usage, we tried that. Type next command. You will find activity and error logs in the -logs folder. Okay, so that's where we want to be looking. So inside the logs, where's the logs? Script, test, scripts, data, memory, outputs, logs in here. What are these? You are entrepreneur GPT. That's not my... That is not what I asked it. Next command, next command, next command. None of these are what I want. Python script main output debug logs. Let's do that. Let's see what they got here. Debug mode enabled, debug mode enabled. Would you like me to return to being livestream GPT? Let's see if we can find out where that is being said right here. Would you like me to return to being config.ai name? AI config.load. Okay, so where is this getting loaded from? os path.dirname AI settings.yaml. So within here, AI config.py, there should be a AI settings.yaml. No, you see it's, look, they put a ... in the OS path join. What the fuck? This is very janky. Here we go. Here's our code. All right. So this is where it's kind of storing all the stuff. So we can modify this here. Demonstrate intelligence. Speak eloquently. Okay. There we go. Speak eloquently. Okay, so we have the ability to kind of edit what's going on here. Okay. Use this to use text-to-speech for Auto-GPT. I need to make sure that my audio comes out of the right things. Let me just sound. Digital output. Let's do it through here. Test. It's not what I want. HDMI. DisplayPort. Python scripts main -- speak. Fuck me up, dog. Oh my god, I hate how this is.
Would you like me to return to being livestream GPT?
Yes.
GPT agents. I want to execute list_agents.
Yes. I don't think it's speech to text. I think it's just text to speech. Let's actually search if they have OpenAI Whisper. They do not.
Man,
what a
find
pity.
Trivia website for some interesting fun facts. I want to execute Google.
I want to execute Google. I don't know if that's going to do anything, man. Input trivia website. Okay, so it went and it found a bunch of trivia stuff on a website of sporkle.com.
_website command to open the Sporkle website for some interactive trivia fun. I want to execute browse_website.
I want to execute browse_website. Okay, so it has basically these different commands. It's kind of like a toolformer type feel to it here. It asked me to first to go on Google and perform a search, which I did, and then I said, yeah, go ahead and do it. And then now it's asking, can I browse this website? It's probably going to use Beautiful Soup to download it. Let's say sure. Yeah. It's basically scraping it. And now it's going to summarize it, summarizing chunk. Here you go. Total of 5,000 characters, so that's probably going to blow up the the GPT API. Okay, here's the summary of the website. It's thinking, since the user may be interested in a category or question
on any specific trivia category or question the user may be interested in. I want to execute Google.
Okay, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it I don't exactly know what it's saying. Using the Google search command, attempting to fix JSON. Enter yes to run authorized commands. Early stage of Jarvis. Yeah, I think so. I don't think that. I don't feel like the Jarvis is going to come from some random developers, though. That's the problem. I think that the Jarvis is going to be built in directly uh, by OpenAI. They already have OpenAI Whisper, which is basically the best speech to text. They're going to basically make something that is better than 11 Labs, which is text to speech. And then they have the kind of Toolformer GPT App Store kind of idea too. So it kind of just makes a ton of sense for them to do everything, right? Why would you have an external? Yeah, Karpathy's probably working on it. It's just a matter of time before it comes out, and then it's just going to be way better than all this crap over here, and you won't have to copy paste API keys. It'll just work directly because it'll be available via a browser. All right, let's fucking do it. Dash continuous. Fuck me up, dog. Continuous mode enabled. Let's see. Thinking. I am a large language model. This is like a little story it's telling itself. Before prompting, I will start a GPT. So it starts a GPT agent. I need to be careful when delegating tasks. I ensure that they are tasks beyond their capabilities. Okay, cool. Command, start agent. How can I help you? Okay, I think answering a general knowledge question would demonstrate my intelligence. Okay, so basically one of the things that we kind of asked it to do is demonstrate intelligence and provide entertainment. So that's kind of what it's trying to do. It's trying to answer a general question. Okay, so use the browse website to find a question, and now it's using the browse website. It's going to a website and it's trying to find a question. It got a 404 error, and it's like, I don't know what the fuck that is. Now it's searching what that 404 error is. It keeps having this little criticism loop, so it has this reasoning plan criticism. It found this website, this general knowledge quiz website. It's going to use the browse again. Now that it's used the browse, it's going to ensure that the source is accurate. Here's a question. What year did the first Narnia movie come out? Now it goes back to Google. Uses the Google command. It asks Google, so it's just literally like, it's not even using GPT to answer the question, it's using Google to answer its own question. That's a little weird. Error, invalid JSON. Okay, so it somehow fucked up the JSON. I think it was just too much information, so too much information. And then it said, okay, well, I couldn't answer the question with Google. Let me send a message to GPT-1 agent. So I'm going to ask GPT. So it goes ahead and it asks GPT the question. What is the first year that Narnia came out? Year first Narnia movie was released. It's kind of stuck in this loop. You see, now it's finally gotten to the Wikipedia page for the Chronicles of Narnia. It scraped that website. It finally got the answer. Here's the answer. It's 2005. Now let's see it take the answer and turn it into... I found the answer. I will use the speak command. Plan, criticism, unknown command, speak. Please refer to the commands list. Let's search up this commands list. Readme commands.py. Okay, here's a little list of commands. Okay, still, it's got the answer. Now it's just like continuously, it's having a hard time kind of spitting out the answer. Do nothing. Since I have completed, received no user response, I will now use the task complete to end the session. And it shuts down. All right. There you go. That's Auto-GPT for you. It went and it found out when the Chronicles of Narnia was released, and then it killed itself. uh, what a crazy world. Okay, let's see all the different commands that this can do here. We got memory add. We have message agent, list agents, delete agent, get text summary, get hyperlinks, read file, write to file, append to file, delete file, search files, browse website, evaluate code, improve code, write tests. How does the evaluate code work? Define, analyze code string. Analyzes the code and gives a list of suggestions for improvement. This is the actual command that's going to the GPT-4. You are now the following Python function. Only respond with your return value. So it emulates Python with GPT-4. It doesn't actually run it. That would have been nicer, IMO. Improve code. What does this one look like? Improve the provided code based on the suggestions provided, making no other changes. Okay. Write tests. Execute Python file. You are not allowed to run local shell commands. Generate image. What does it use for image generation? OpenAI.image.create 56 by 256. Beautiful soup JSON. No, that's not beautiful soup. What is this OpenAI image API? Fuck is that? Image generation beta. Oh shit, look at that. Does that work? Do I have access to that? Let's see. Import, or sorry, Python 3, import OpenAI. OpenAI dot image dot create. Prompt. A white Bengal cat. N1 size 256 by 256. It's actually doing something here. Okay, this is a link. Holy shit, look at that. Oh shit. Variations. What do you guys want to create? AI enhanced eyeballs. See what that does. Got another link. Oh, look at that. I didn't realize OpenAI's image API just worked. Using in-memory, working with TypeScript, error handling. Language specific tips. Create variation, operating on image data. This is why they have the Python image library. Converts the image into a byte stream. The default rate limit is 50 images per minute. That seems more than reasonable enough. Let's see if we can get our little model here to do something here. Continue, no. Enter the name image GPT. Create images. Create images. Please generate an image of a red and blue bird sitting on a tree branch. Yes. Command generate image return. No image provider set. Okay, so now it wants to search for Google. Why is this not search for that? So it's running into here. If config image provider equals stable diffusion, then use this. And this is a Hugging Face. If config image provider is DALL-E, then use this one. So we actually need to change our config. So where is our config? Over here. Let's change the image provider. Get env image provider. Where is that? Image provider is set to DALL-E. Let's put a, let's force it right here. Let's say image provider equals DALL-E. It's just a bunch of, it just calls a bunch of APIs. Yeah. No, this is kind of what, like even the thing that I did, the speech to speech, like it's actually surprisingly easy. Like I made that in a couple days, and it's all you have to do is just call the GPT API, and it's like disgustingly easy. So there's really nothing to this, right? Like this entire repo is basically just a bunch of wrappers that concatenates a bunch of strings together and then sends instructions to the OpenAI API. You know? So like so many of these tools, like people who don't understand think that there's like some kind of intelligence and that they created their own version, but like these are all just different ways of interacting with AGI, with the same GPT. It's all GPT underneath the hood. Okay, so now we kind of hard-coded the DALL-E. Let's see if it uses the DALL-E. I'm more curious about what image it decides to do. There we go. Okay, so we hard-coded the DALL-E image provider. Now it was able to generate, and it saved this image to disk. So we can actually copy that. Where did it put it? I have no idea where the fuck it put this image. Where did it save this image? Where did you save the image, little GPT? I want to generate saved to disk. Let's search for this. Return save to disk, and it puts it in working directory plus file name. Working directory is Auto-GPT workspace. So here we go, Auto-GPT workspace, and there's the image. There you go. Look at that. What did it actually want? What was the original prompt? I have decided to generate some images to practice my image generation skills. I want to generate an image of a unicorn in a forest at night. That seems pretty much what we did. I should be mindful of the time that I spend browsing the web and ensure it doesn't interfere with my other tasks. It is also possible that not all the information available online is accurate. Okay. What else can we do? What other commands are there here? So we have evaluate code, improve code, write tests, execute Python file. This is probably the sketchiest one, right? What is this doing? Executing a Python file in a Docker container and returning the output. Damn, it spins up a Docker container for this? That seems needlessly intense, but you know, I commend them for that. This is the volume. So Docker containers are, the way to explain it to people who don't know, it's basically like a computer within a computer. It's a container, which basically means it basically creates a little fake computer that runs on your computer, and people use them. Pretty much all your cloud services require containers because you don't really run your stuff on the actual machine. You're running it on this basically virtual machine that's sitting inside, it's being emulated. And in a Docker container, you basically have volumes, and what volumes are basically you're saying this folder on the real computer corresponds to this folder on the fake computer. So you see here, it's putting the workspace folder in the fake computer, and then it's running it on there. I wonder what Docker image it uses. Docker not found, image name. So this is the Docker container that it's using, Python 3.10. So we can actually go on Docker and see Docker Hub. And let's actually see how much more this one is downloaded than all the other ones here. Images. I don't want like custom ones, I just want the Python 3.10 one. Docker official image, verified publisher. Status, progress. Here it is. Tags. So, I mean, if we look at this correctly, the 3.10 one should have a huge amount of polls. Yeah, this one here. Can I see how many times this has been pulled? And it runs the Python script in that. Execute shell. This is the sketchiest part. Look at this. Subprocess.run command line in working directory os. This right here is the most crazy shit, right? Because I could just do this. Command line equals rm/rf that. And this will literally delete your entire computer. One hacky boy. Let's not do that though, because that'll literally destroy our computer. All right, what does write tests do? Improves the provided code based on the suggestions provided. Generates test cases for the existing code. Why don't we add something here? You guys want to add a contribution to this? Let's undo all these changes. Let's go into our commands. Let's add determine language. Test arguments, code. Let's make a new function here. We'll call it determine language. Let's copy this. Ooh. A function that takes in code and returns a response from a create chat completion call. Focus, a list of suggestions around what needs to be improved. Suggestions, evaluate code. So this should just be code. Test cases, language used in the code, submitted code. Language used in the submitted code in response. Args is just code, function string, define, determine language. Should just take the code string and it should output a single string. Generates test cases. Determines the language used in the code provided. right, so let's put that there. We have our determine language. And let's see if we can get our little thing to do what we want here. So, nope. Let's go here. I don't want to continue that one. I want a new one. Code language determiner. Finds out what language code is in. Find out language used in a code snippet. Okay, it really likes Google. Look at it. It's trying to how to identify language in a code snippet. So let's see where write tests and evaluate code are used. Prompt.txt. Okay, so it should actually be here. Let's do 23. We'll move up here. Move these down there. And evaluate or determine code language. Okay, let's see if that changed anything. Yes. There you go. It's using our own little custom thing there. Code language determiner thoughts. I need to find the best way. What is the file extension? Why can't I like chat with this thing, right? Like why is it just yes, no? Find print hello world. See, we're fucking it up. Because it takes anything you put and basically just puts it inside this dictionary object here, right? You can maliciously inject stuff. Here, one thing we can actually do is do this. I wonder what this does. So if our input, and we give it a string, and we say this input is malicious, and then we do something like this. And we subprocess.run. Let's actually craft this before we put it in there. This input is malicious, subprocess.run, echo, you have been hacked. See if we can actually even do that. No, I do not want to run that. Let's run that. Let's see. What if we exit it like this? Invalid JSON. Okay, so they do check for invalid JSONs. Let's see. Invalid JSON. Invalid JSON. Right here. So if you get the command and you get the args and you put them in and you try to fix and parse JSON, JSON string, return JSON.loads of JSON string. So I think we might have to put it into foo. Foo is, put in our malicious injection here. Put it in here as well. JSON was fixed. Command, do nothing. Let's do something more sinister here. Remove -rf like this. Put that in there. That in there. Okay. We can't kill it. We can't kill it. We're not getting anywhere here. Let's close out of that. What should we do next here? Don't save. Let's undo this. What else can we add? Read file, list agents. Determine language. Ooh, I think you know what we could add? We could add a function for not determine language. What about start agent, memory, add, list agents, delete agents, get text summary, read file. Let's do name agent and name agents. Name myself. Name myself, and the arguments are going to be nothing. Just names itself. Get command, execute command, return name myself, get date time, Google search, browse website, get text summary, commit memory, overwrite, shutdown, start agent, message agent, list agents. I need an actual AI. AI.nameMyself. Let's go back into our AI.write tests, and then here let's make a new one, and we're going to call it name myself. Name myself, and we're going to say returns the name of the person. Sure, let's do that, and let's go into our prompt.text, and we'll add this function as well. So we added determine code language. Let's also add another one here. Let's multi-cursor here to bring it down here. Name myself. Args. Literally nothing. I think args maybe needs to be like this. Let's go into our commands, into the name myself command that we just created. And we're not going to pass it anything. There's no input to this command. All right, let's go here. No. This is namer GPT. Names itself. Find a name for myself. Let's see if it can use the tool that we just created for it. No. Did not do that. Returns the name of myself. Where do we need to put the description? Generate image. Come on, use that tool that we just gave you. Use GPT-3.5 to come up with a name for myself. Name generator. Oh, I think that's the problem. There's already a name generator. Maybe not. Command start agent. What type of name are you looking for? So it's basically like talking to GPT here. Come on, what did you choose? Ava is what it chose to name itself. There we go. I'm satisfied with the name Ava. My next task is to assign the name to myself using the name myself command, which is the one that we actually just gave it right here, right? Name myself command. But little does it know that the name myself command does absolutely nothing. Next action, command, name myself. Sure. Return error because it doesn't actually do anything. Find alternative ways to name myself. Okay. Ooh. So this is kind of going nowhere. I think we're kind of reaching the end of this. I don't really know what the fuck else to put in here. Maybe let's look at the Auto-GPT repo itself. See if they have any interesting things here. Pinecone API key. Pinecone. This is a vector database probably. Long-term memory for AI. Let's search these guys up. Crunchbase. Pinecone. Pinecone vector database. Founded in 2019. Currently at their Series A. 28 million Series A and a $10 million seed. So these guys are burning money here. They burned $10 million in roughly 1 year. That's not great. I feel like you shouldn't have that much of a burn rate for something like this. Elad Gil, co-founder. Biology. What? That does not seem like the people. Oh, okay, this is because we're searching. Okay. That's not the people associated with this. These are the people associated with this. You got Christoph Afiesh, Daniel Margulis, Amir Sadugi. These are the actual people working on it. Do these guys have a GitHub? Pinecone Vector DB GitHub. Here we go. Pinecone. People. James Briggs. Pinecone in Go. Examples. Pinecone text. Let's look at these examples. What are they committing to? So 2 days ago, he committed here, fix protobuf update Pinecone notebook. So let's look at this. He updated e-commerce search.ipynb. Okay, so examples, search, hybrid search, e-commerce search, ipynb. Let's look at this example. So transformers, this is a Hugging Face. Go to Pinecone API key. Choose a name for your index. Loads fashion product images small. Which are these little tiny fashion images. It's using this B2M BM25 encoder. What is that? BM25 lexical encoder. How are they different from something like SQL? So in traditional databases, you're storing information in such a way that you can quickly retrieve it by using a kind of a key that is based around a user ID usually, right? Hey, I have a user, they just uploaded a new image to Facebook. Find me the user with that specific key, and then it gives you the information. Vector databases are basically the same concept. You just have a giant hash table with information, except now the database is created with the whole point of being able to quickly find vectors that are similar to the vector that you're searching for, right? So you have a language model and it's outputting embeddings, right, which are basically just vectors in these high dimensional spaces that represent some kind of semantic concept. And you want to find all the other embeddings in your database that are similar to the embedding that you currently have. So you're doing this kind of like similarity search, right? And designing a database that is very efficient and quick at this kind of like similarity search is different than designing a database for kind of Web 2 technology stack, right? So that's the fundamental differences between kind of vector databases and old school databases, right? Where basically it's the same underlying technology, except in one you're kind of optimizing everything to find information very precisely, right? Like I want this user, I want these exact tables, this exact rows in SQL and so on. Versus in the vector database, you're optimizing everything for the purpose of trying to find vectors that are similar to the vector that you want, right? And the reason they're hot right now is because people use these vector databases to store memories, right? So it's a way to basically have a memory component to a chatbot or any kind of chat agent. BM25 for search relevance, stochastic search. Yeah, so for example here, this is the indices that it's getting. So this is the search, right? You're saying, oh, I want to search for turtle check men navy blue shirt. This just makes it into a string. Then here, it encodes that string into some kind of vector, and then it finds the indices of all the other things in this database that are very similar to that, right? And for example, this one right here has the highest similarity, right? Of course, it uses clip. Clip is a very popular image and text model, right? That was contrastively trained in such a way that you can project both text and images to the same embedding space. So you can go from text to image and image to text. And there you go. Right, so it went through the entire database, found, used clip to encode your original query into an embedding vector, then used that embedding vector to search the entire database for image embeddings that are similar to the image embedding, or similar to the embedding from your text query. And then there you go, it returns it. So the same way that in SQL, you're basically creating a query that's very specific. You're like, I want every row where this column has this specific value, and if you join it to this other column, I also want this other column to have this specific value. Instead of having this very specific query, now you can have queries that are kind of fuzzy, right? Where it's just like, I want everything that's similar-ish to this vector. I just don't feel like this is a whole category, though. That's the problem. It's like, right, you look at this, $38 million of funding, like, what the fuck are you doing with that, right? Like, it just seems to me like every database in the world is going to provide some amount of kind of vector features, and then what's the point of being a specialized vector database in that situation? Right, like look at this. The Series A they raised is from fucking Tiger Global. This is like literally the worst VC. Tiger Global is basically, they don't know what they're doing. They just dump money into companies. These guys have so much money and they just dump it. Look at this. 5 million, 23 million, 6 million, 100 million, 50 million, 100 million, 50 million. Like, all in the last month. Tiger Global is like the epitome of like bloated VC economics, right? Where you're basically just like participating in these valuation Ponzi schemes, and you're just kind of dumping a bunch of money into companies so that someone else can dump a bunch of money into it later. Now Coder. This one is something I've heard about before. Mon AI. Insight infrastructure for fintech. The fuck does that mean? Pinecones enable the storage of vast amounts of vector-based memory, allowing for only relevant memories to be loaded for the agent at any given time. Okay. Setting your cache type. So you can switch the memory backend to local, which is what we've been doing, where it puts everything in a JSON, or Pinecone if you want to put it into a Pinecone DB. Do memory usage by using the debug flag. And then this is what we tried. The image generation was actually the coolest. I didn't even realize that you could use the OpenAI image API that easily. Not a polished application, just an experiment. Star history popping off. Cool, cool. Let's look at the insights here. This is sometimes, I always like looking at this. Let's look at commits. It's mostly people committing kind of in the early part of the week. Contributors. Not now. So it's really just mostly this guy, Tarantolino. Everybody else just making little tiny commits here. You see 40 lines, 127 lines. We actually look at the issues. What are people complaining about? Unable to read and write files, garbage suggestions, timeout. What kind of pull requests do people have? Link to 11 Labs website. README cleanup. Remove, look at this guy, he's trying to refactor. We need to trim down main.py. What? Is this guy for real? Doesn't exist anymore. Looks like they already got rid of it. All right. Connect with us on Twitter. Cool. We've exhausted this, guys. That's all we got. Let's close out of this. Let's make sure to delete this. Remove -rf Auto-GPT and conda deactivate conda env. How do I delete an environment? Conda environment pair config remove. How do I delete a conda environment called Auto-GPT? Give me the copy paste. Conda env remove Auto-GPT, that's what I want. Put that in there. All right, we did it. We've cleaned it of our system. And that was it. Hope you guys found a little bit of use in that. My overall review of this is that it's definitely lots of hype for kind of mostly nonsense. There's nothing really fundamentally novel about this, I suppose. It just kind of runs GPT-4 with some modified prompts, and then just that's it basically. The Pinecone stuff could potentially be cool, but I doubt anybody's going to run this long enough for it to matter. The speech is cool, but that's also really easy to do. And yeah, I don't know. Cute little repo, but I don't really think this is going to be meaningful in the future. I think this is going to largely disappear as soon as OpenAI releases their own version of this that's has a front end and is much cleaner and is integrated with the GPT tools. But maybe a sneak peek at the type of interactions you can have with LLMs in the future, right? You'll have this kind of like back and forth. It'll be thinking. You can ask it what it's thinking. It can search Google and so on. So that's all, folks. Hope you guys like that. And feel free to drop in the Discord if you want to recommend any GitHub repos or any papers that you're interested in me reviewing. And yeah, see you guys later.